Hello, my Scrappy friends. It is Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters, and thank you for joining me for day number 14 of Scraptember. And today, of course, it is mixed media. Now, I am using a fabulous little technique that I have seen the amazing Missy Whiddon do, and that is using my shimmers. I've never used these before, actually, so this is my first time having a play with these shimmers. And the first colour that I'm working with here is called Shimmers Teal the End of Time. And as you can see, I've just got a 12 by 12 bag and I'm painting directly onto that bag. So Teal the End of Time is the super dark colour. Then the second colour is Peacock's Plume that I'm going to be working with next. And it is a beautiful kind of teal colour. Look at that. Oh, I love that colour. And as you can see, I'm just painting straight on. I'm hardly even washing my brush. I am going to sort of wipe it off on a scrap of paper, but that's about it. And then the last colour of these that I'm using is called It's Mint to Be, M-I-N-T, Mint to Be. And that's just this beautiful, light, gorgeous mint colour. And as I said, I saw this done by Missy Whiddon probably 5 years ago, but it is so fun and it is so easy and it makes such a brilliant background. So I'm putting these layers of colours around and around in this sort of circular motion. And then instead of picking up the bag, I'm actually going to put my paper onto the bag. So it's going to be a little bit as a surprise as to what we end up here. Now, you of course don't need to work on a bag. You could work straight onto a glass mat or onto a huge jelly plate if you have one in this size. For me, this was just my easiest option. I didn't have a glass top. I didn't have a jelly plate. So for me, just the plastic bag is super simple. The last thing you saw me doing then with my fingers flicking was flicking water. I don't have a spray bottle. You'd think something as simple as a spray bottle, but I don't have one. So I was just flicking, dipping my hands into a cup of water and flicking that around on the page. So I have made it quite a wet mixed media project, which of course will mean that this page will warp, but I'm just going to roll with it. So you can see now that I've turned it over how that's kind of all splodged together. And it's looking pretty cool. It's not done yet, but it's looking pretty cool. So I'm really happy with how that's looking, but it just needs a little touch of contrast. So next I'm getting, it's called Art Philosophy Concentrated Watercolor, and it's in the color of Taxi. Now I just did 5 drops of this pure. If I was doing this again, I would also put a little bit of water on top of each drop or with each drop, just so it smushes a little bit further than that. Some of those little yellow splotches are just a bit too small for what I was kind of hoping for. Then I pull out my Distress Oxide spray in saltwater taffy and I just spray that on, but actually I'm not happy with the spray look. I want it a bit smushed as well. So I'm just putting my piece of plastic back on and rolling it with my brayer. Now a brayer is not necessarily necessary. You can absolutely rub it with your hands, but I just am lazy and like how evenly the brayer rolls everything out. Then I have got my Jen Hatfield Gold Shimmer. And as you can see, I'm kind of stroking out a little circular shape there and then doing some gold splatters. And then I am pulling out some white as well. I think that's coming. There we go. And I'm going to do the same with the white, sort of go around that circular shape, inside, outside. This is obviously still really wet at this stage, putting on some splatters of white. And then the last thing I'm going to do is some splatters in navy. And then I'm going to leave this to dry. Now, obviously the paper is going to warp. If that is an issue for you, you could iron it, you could run it through your laminator, you could put it under some books, whatever it is your favorite sort of go-to technique for flattening it back out. For me, I never worry too much. It's not super warped. And I find that just once it's in my album, it's going to flatten out anyway. I did just a second ago really, really briefly show you just how shimmery and sparkly this layout is, and it is amazing. Basically, everything that I put onto this page has some shimmer to it, except for that yellow concentrate and the dioxide spray, the oxide spray, the distress oxide spray. All the other, the shimmers and the other sprays, the gold and the white, they all have a sparkle to them. So this is sparkle crazy. So I'm using a cut file here. This cut file isn't really available. It is from Copa Cut Files, and it was given away free during the peak of like the COVID times. So if you are from the Copa group and you've been part of the Copa Facebook group for a while, Virginia gave these away for free back in like 2020, 2021, something like that. So some of you will have had this downloaded from then, but otherwise it's no longer something that's available on the website. What else can I tell you? Oh, I've said this collection. Maybe I haven't. This is the Simple Stories Quarantine Collection, and I'm just trying to use it up. The photograph on this one is a little bit hard to find. It is literally just a photograph of a positive rat. This was back in March when Katie tested positive to COVID, and I'm just documenting these moments for her. She will do her own journaling. She's just helping me out because I don't quite have enough photos to make it through all 15 of my prompts for this month. What else can I tell you? Just building up some clusters, really. I've mentioned it before and I will mention it again, but I am completely out of foam dots, and so I am just using some old thickers that I don't have any vowels left for and are just not my favorite to be the foam. And it works really well when you're using stickers because you can stick the non-sticky side of your thicker to the sticker, and then it sticks straight onto the page because thickers are sticky. So perfect. So there's a little tip if you've got a bunch of, I especially like the foam ones. Chipboard will work as well, but foam is just nice and soft and manipulative, so I can sort of bend them and shape them to fit all the odd shapes of ephemera, and just tear them in half too to fit different pieces of ephemera. So there's a little trick on how to use up your thickers if you have some left over that you're not sure what to do with. So I have built 2 little clusters up here, and I'm just got one more to go that I'm going to put on, and I'm really, really thrilled with how this layout has come together. I think this is such a fun mixed media background, and I hope I've inspired you to give this a try. Pretty much anything you have at home could work to do this layout. Watercolor paints would work really well. Even just normal acrylic paint would work well, especially if you watered it down a little bit. Just super fun. I definitely I'm going to try it again, and I reckon you should try it as well. Also, don't forget to check that description box down below because, of course, there will be links to our fabulous co-hosts, Laura Alberts and Christy's Beautiful Life. And don't forget the playlist. There is hundreds of videos in that playlist now, and there's going to be so many more before the end of September. Obviously, all of mine and Katie's videos are theirs, as well as Laura's and Christy's, but all the other amazing people that have been playing along. We have some incredible people that are joining us this month. Some people that are joining in for just 1 or 2 days. Some people that are joining in for like all 15. Like half of the days like Katie and I are, or some people that are rocking it and are doing as many as they possibly can. There are some superstar scrappers out there. So definitely check out that playlist and see what inspires you and see other people's takes on the prompts, because that's what this is all about. Just creating and making something beautiful. You can see that I'm up to my final steps now. I am putting on some enamel dots from Pink Fresh Studio. These ones are the Let's Stay Home collection, but honestly, I would have just used any that matched my color scheme. I've got a whole bunch of Pink Fresh ones there, as you can see. So here are my final photos. As you can see, you can see that my page is a little bit warped, but I don't mind too much. I'm really happy with how it looks, and I am super thrilled with this final layout. Thank you so much for watching, and I cannot wait to see you all on day 16. So stick around, and I'll catch you in 2 days' time. Thanks, everyone. Have a happy, scrappy week. Bye.